Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. I thought we'd do something just a little bit different today. We talked about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We talked about Influenza Awareness Month, Influenza Awareness Season, really, and the flu shot and what it can do for you. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit, and there's something special I wanted to show you guys today. It is a look back through the years of the CNA profession. CNAs were actually put into play during World War I. CNAs first started practicing during World War I when volunteer nurse aid service was established for the American Red Cross. Obviously, this need presented itself because the soldiers coming in from the field with injuries, there weren't enough nurses to take care of them, so they started taking volunteers in to kind of help the nurses out. This evolved a little bit more during World War II. Between 1944 and 1945, through the Red Cross, thousands of nurse aides were called as assistant nurses during World War II. Volunteer Nurse Aid Corps was established in the request of the Office of Civilian Defense and administered as a branch of the Volunteer Special Services. I read somewhere, I didn't include this on here, but I read there was over 120,000 volunteers that served during World War II as assistants to nurses. There were some people that served the entire time. There were some people that just served as tours and then came back home to take care of their families. This was a phenomenal sacrifice for women back then to leave their children and go take care of soldiers that were coming in injured off the field. This has started to evolve a little bit more through the years. It wasn't until the 1950s, actually, when the first nursing home was created by the federal government. However, at this time, nursing assistants were not formally trained or even certified. In the 1970s, a few states began offering volunteer training and certification. When you think about it, that's not really that long of a time, the 1970s to now. If you think about like the evolution of technology, if you think about the evolution of civil rights or women's rights, 48 years, isn't that ish? Is really not a long time for this evolution to for this profession to really evolve. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about CNAs from the 80s up until now. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. Today, we're taking a look back through the years at the CNA profession. It wasn't actually until 1987, when Ronald Reagan was in office, that the Office of Congress passed the Omnibus Reconciliation Act. This law required states to train and certify nursing assistants, which changed the field for assistant nursing dramatically. It is actually the minimum of 75 hours of education plus, I believe, 15 hours of clinical education before you can actually be certified. That is the minimal nationwide now. My mom was on an episode of Katie in the Morning with me a few weeks back, and she talked about when she first became a CNA, they weren't referred to as CNAs, they were referred to as senior companions. That's back before the training was even a requirement. So, you had the candy stripers, you had the senior companions, you had in-home services, you had all sorts of titles. And today, those titles still are various, depends from state to state. We actually had a Pure Chat question come in off the website the other day that there was a CNA out on the East Coast, I believe she was from, who had a specialty in phlebotomy, but she couldn't find a job in her area. And she asked if I thought, as a professional, if the title of a CNA would change to a patient technician across the board. My answer to that was kind of a little vague, but I guess it depends on what state you live in. A lot of the northern states you see changing the titles of a CNA to a patient care technician, CNA to nurse technician. In the southern states, you see more of the CNA title remaining the same. So it really depends on where you're going, location wise, and also your studies in different fields. Which actually leads us to our next slide. The role of the CNA has evolved over the years, and as a result, more career options have become available. Home health aides, patient care technicians, medication aides, and certified nursing assistant 2 training are more advanced roles for the certified nursing assistant. There are a few that weren't mentioned in there too, like the restorative aide. Nurse technicians in hospitals, you're seeing a lot of, you're seeing CNAs going to like drug testing centers and doing like the drug screening for employment opportunities. You're seeing all sorts of stuff evolving in the CNA profession in itself. So for the future CNAs out there, some of the things that you're going to have to think about if you're thinking about getting into our field is advancing your education, first of all, getting that hands-on training, and developing yourself on a professional level and on a personal level. These are some of the things that are going to help you strive to succeed in our profession in the future. I thank you guys all for joining me today, and I will see you next time on Katie in the Morning.